Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. We've got BWL talk, week 1 reactions, and also Bernie's going to give us our predictions for the week 2 of the BWL. But let's go ahead and start with this week, starting with the 12-13U League. It was the Pinstripes who took it in a nail-biter. And KJ, we're just going to go through these games rapid fire. I want you to give me one player, it can be from either team, who maybe surprised you the most or impressed you the most from the 12-13U Pinstripes win.
Yeah, I'd say, I think this guy just has a knack for the big moment, and it's Cam Bernstein. We kind of talked about it, how I was saying on Saturday, man, I think a lot of guys were saying stuff to Cam about he didn't have the best offensive season. I was telling him, man, that's just what Cam needed. Cam just needed someone to give him that fire, and he had a couple big-time hits in that game.
Yeah, and for my squad, it's going to be Josh Tyler, who I thought took fantastic at-bats. I know a lot of people were talking about him down the stretch, the quality of at-bats he was taking in the fall, and I got to see it firsthand. I think he's going to be a big contributor for my team on the offensive side. But it was a tight game, came down to the wire. A couple defensive mistakes from the throwbacks cost them that one, but we're going to go ahead and talk about next Week 2's matchup in a little bit. But let's go ahead and go to the B League at 14-15U. This was a throwback winner in comeback fashion, down 5-2 going into the last inning, able to come all the way back and win it 7-5. KJ, again, give me one player either from your team or from the throwbacks who maybe surprised or impressed you the most from this game.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by Eric Latrania. Not only did he pitch 3 really good innings and threw hard and threw strikes, but he also had a couple hits. I know he hit the first home run of the new BWL season, and I'm not gonna lie, he kind of stood alone in that B League. It was kind of he was the best player out there, so he really impressed me.
Yeah, he definitely looked like an A-League player playing in the B League. For my squad, it's got to be Jude Ramirez. I mean, this guy, every ball he hit on Saturday was hit hard. He came up with the big hit and our comeback, a bases-loaded double that really felt like it was going to give us a chance to win. And this guy, I knew he was good, man, but really impressed me in week 1 of the BWL. Moving into the 14-15U A-League, it was a pitchers matchup for the most part. Ended up being 6-2 as the Pinstripes scored some runs late. But a lot of good pitching in this game. A lot of guys going up there and having to face hard fastballs with breaking balls as well. It was a tough matchup, but KJ, give me a guy who impressed you in this game.
Yeah, let me think of this league.
If you want, I'll go first. I'll go with Lucas Velchek. There was kind of some talk that there wasn't a real ace. There wasn't a real pitcher who stood above everybody else in the draft. And Lucas Velchek looked like an ace. I mean, he absolutely dominated in 3 innings of work against, again, these are the best hitters in the entire Bears organization. He was going up there absolutely shutting it down. Fastballs, breaking balls, it didn't matter. I believe he had 6 Ks and 1 walk in his 3 innings of work. He was absolutely disgusting and made those 14-15U A-League Pinstripes look like they were B-League players. I mean, just the way he was pitching. But KJ, I don't know if you have your answer yet for this game. Do you got one?
Yeah, I'll go with Andrew Driscoll. And Andrew didn't even pitch last week, but he played really good defense. I know he turned a big double play for us, and he just took great at bats. I know he was on base all day. I know he took a couple walks. I know he hit a double. The guy was just on base all day, and his at bats looked really strong.
Yeah, he was a tough out, and when he's hitting at the bottom of that order, just shows you how deep that Pinstripes lineup is. Moving on to the 16U, 18U League. This one got away from the throwbacks. It was an 11-1 Pinstripe victory. Close through 3 innings. We thought that, I know Bernie gave the prediction it was going to be 2-0 Pinstripes through 3. It was 0-0 tie game through 3. Both Reese Payne and Mac Floyd absolutely shoved. But once the throwbacks got into the bullpen, things kind of got away. KJ, in this game, a lot of, I thought, guys who maybe we didn't know a lot about in this league, I thought showed some good stuff. Give me a guy who impressed you in this league.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say 2 different guys. First of all, I thought Andrew Engelken pitched really well, and I thought he took great at-bats as well. And then another guy who I just picked up, he didn't even get drafted in this league, picked him up right before week 1, Ethan Mon. He got the shot with some guys out, and he hit a couple. I know he had a big double in this game, and he just took really good at-bats. He played first base all day, played good defensively, and, I was a little skeptical to see how well he was going to hang around with those guys, and he hung around well.
Yeah, and for the throwbacks, a guy who I knew a lot of, but I'd never really seen him play in live action, and that's Cole Miller, who took some really good at-bats, played good defense, hit an absolutely scorched single. I think this guy's going to live up to be a big, big player in the Bears. And in the immediate future in the Winter League, I think he's going to be a big part of this Throwbacks team that looks to get back right in Week 2. Speaking of Week 2, it is the Throwbacks host. The Pinstripes were the home team for all 4 games in Week 1. The Throwbacks will have a chance to be the home team here in Week 2. Again, it was a 3-1 week for the Pinstripes. The Throwbacks look to bounce back. Bernie, you went 1-3 in your predictions last week, so looking to turn things around for you. We're going to keep track of your season record. So far you are 1-3 on the season. But getting into the 12-13U league, we've got Cale Taylor pitching for the Pinstripes, Owen Lewis pitching for the Throwbacks, a little bit of 12U action, Bernie. You should know a lot about these pitchers. Give me your prediction for the first 3 innings and also the full game.
Yeah, I was joking around saying that, you just don't bet against the Pinstripes in Winter League. That's kind of the lesson learned from Week 1. But I'm going to go against that here in this first game. I'm going to take the Throwbacks through the first 3 and on the full game. Just from a pure starting pitching matchup, I think Owen, is just more consistent than Cale. Owen's not going to walk any batters. He's going to throw his curveball for a strike. And then just down the stretch, I know the Throwbacks have Josh Tyler and Blabon behind them. And I think the Pinstripes pitching staff has some question marks this week.
Yeah, and, I think KJ probably won't admit it on the show, but I think privately, he knows that the Throwbacks should have won this league in Week 1. Made some key mistakes down the stretch that kind of cost us the game. I think we are definitely the better team, and with this pitching matchup, I think we'll take it. KJ, any reaction to that one?
Yeah, last week I was missing a couple big-time hitters. I think Cale Taylor and Avery are both going to slide well into my lineup, and we still found a way to win that game. I think Cale is a great matchup for this team, and a team that loves to swing the bat. I know for sure ZZ Garcia is not going to go up there to walk. Diego Buccio, Harrison Blowbaum. So even if Cale's not consistently throwing 100% strikes like I think Owen Lewis might be, there's a lot of swingers on a Throwback team, and I don't think he's going to be walking many guys.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be a good one. Moving into the B-League game, it was a very exciting one last week. Again, it was a 5-2 lead for the Pinstripes going into the last inning. I think this is going to be the league that's the toughest to call from week to week, but Bernie, the pitching matchup here, Nolan Chilton going for the Pinstripes. Trevor Anderson, who got called down from the A-League team, he's going to be pitching here for the Throwbacks. Bernie, give me your call here for the first 3 innings and also the full game of the 1450U B-League.
Yeah, this one's tough, man. I don't know if I've ever seen Nolan Chilton throw in real life. I couldn't even name his stats off my head either. So, with that being said, I'm still going to go with Nolan Chilton through the first 3, and I will take the Pinstripes to win the game. Don't bet against the Pinstripes, man. It's a lesson learned.
Yeah, and I would say kind of like the first game, the Throwbacks probably should have won. I think in this league, the Pinstripes probably should have won. I think they had a chance to win that game, ended up blowing it late. So I think from week 1, it maybe looks like the Pinstripes are a better team, but my 2 big bats in this order didn't get any hits last week, and I think that's going to turn around this week. I think we're really going to break things open, and with the guys I added from my A-League team, I think we're going to be even stronger. So, KJ, give me your thoughts on this matchup going into week 2.
Yeah, last week I was missing 3 of my first 5 picks. So I'm getting all those guys back this week. All 3 of them pitch. It's going to make my lineup even stronger, and I think we're going to dominate this week.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that's going to be a fun game. Moving on to the 14-15U A-League, we've got a very exciting pitching matchup. 2 guys who've been in Cy Young contention all season long. Andrew Willerette going for the Pinstripes. Quinn Steinbeck going for the Throwbacks. I think this one, again, no bad pitchers are going to throw in this entire league. Some of these leagues, looking at week 2, maybe the pitching's a little bit weaker because all the aces threw in week 1. I don't think that's going to be the case in this league. I think every single pitcher that takes them out is good. But Bernie, give me your thoughts here in this matchup. Andrew Willerette versus Quinn Steinbeck, first 3 in full game.
Yeah, this one will be a little different. I'm going to take the Throwbacks to the first 3. I believe in Quinn. I'm the biggest probably Quinn believer there is out there. And I will take the Pinstripes on the full game, making a comeback. I think there's the better squad right now.
Okay, interesting. KJ, give me your thoughts on this matchup in the 14-15U A-League.
Yeah, I think after last week's flamethrowers, I think you're getting 2 guys who throw a lot of junk and throw a lot of strikes. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be much more high scoring than last week was, and I think this game is these 2 teams are always going to be tight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a 1 or 2 run game either way. Obviously, I think my Throwbacks are going to go ahead and take it, but I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. And then finally, we got the 16-18U League. Definitely in terms of experience, in terms of pedigree, a pitching mismatch here. We got Brady Heck going for the pinstripes, Elliott Myers going for the throwbacks. In theory, I think the throwbacks have the better pitcher here, but Brady's been throwing well lately. Elliott maybe hasn't necessarily been Elliott lately, so I think it could be an interesting matchup. Bernie, what do you think here in the 16-18U League here, Brady Heck versus Elliott Myers?
Yeah, like you had mentioned, it's kind of tough here because if Elliott's on, he's going to allow 0 runs. That's just how gross Elliott is up there, right? If he's on throwing strikes, he's allowing a 0. But I'm going to make Elliott prove it to me first. I'm going to take the pinstripes for the first 3. I know they had a big win, 11-1 or something like that this past week. So I'll take them in the first 3 and the full game. I'll continue just to believe that they're the better team in this league.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they're definitely the safer team. Again, like I said last week, I think my team has a lot of high variance in that league. I think we got a lot of boomer bust type talents. And I will say against Brady Heck, if he has to rely on his fastball, and then presumably Adam Tobias following him, I think we got a lot of guys who can boom off those type of pitchers. So we'll see. I feel confident in my lineup. KJ, give me your thoughts on the 16-18 league.
Again, I'm getting back 2 of my first 5 picks I missed last week. So, I think Brady really pitched well last year in the BWL. Elliott pitched great too. And I think, this is a game for us, man, where we have less pressure. I mean, they're sending out there Elliott and Brennan likely, who are 2 big-time throwers. So I think if we can win this week, man, that'd be a devastating loss for the throwbacks.
Yeah, 100%. But be sure to come out and check out Week 2 of the BWL. Week 1 was great. It was loud all day long. Last year kind of was a huge crowd for the first game, and then it kind of died off as the day got on, the players got older. It felt like it was loud all day on Saturday. Even the 18U game at 9 o'clock, it was still loud in the building. So be sure to come out, check out the environment. It's going to be a lot of fun. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network, and we'll talk to you all.